Yeah. Well,
They're very. They hate you both.
Wife too. Wife.
No. No. I can't get her into it.
his wife was very, very nice to me when I
Very sweet.
did your show at the Laugh Factory.
She's a nice woman.
Yeah.
I married my high school sweetheart,
Really?
16.
Wow.
I was on Barry Weiss's podcast, and she's like, "What's the secret? You're married 30. We just celebrated 30 years." Wow. And in my act, I have a joke. Are you allowed to curse on this?
We'll beep it.
Okay. In my act, my joke is the secret after 30 years. I have never, ever called my wife a bitch unless she was being a cunt.
Right. There
Anyway,
you go. Yeah.
So
You did that on Barry?
No. So on Barry, she said, "What's the secret?" And I said, "There is no answer." I go, "You know how many factors there are? For example, we were high school sweethearts. Most people don't get to be high school sweethearts.
Right.
So that alone gives you a leg up. And if you don't, when I was on Howard Stern once, he said, well, this is very exciting. Let me tell you, this guy, Elon Gold, he's never been with any other woman." And that's true. We are virgins to the world.
Wow.
And that's another rare thing that you cannot find anywhere. So when you don't know any better, he's like, "Dude, don't you miss being with other women?" I'm like, "I don't know what it's like to be with
You
other
don't know
women."
it, yeah.
So if you don't know it, you don't miss it. It's like when you're dirt poor, you don't know what it's like to have money, so you feel being poor. I was poor my whole life, but I didn't miss not having money because I never had money.
Right. That's why I refuse to ever make any money, Mark.
But the point is that there is no secret. There is no answer, and then we're both from parents that, weren't divorced. And
Yeah. Helps.
so you can't control
Every
this.
relationship is different, and when you look at most of them, you go, "How did these people stay together?"
Right. So
but
what's your
you're-
secret? You're what, 35
34
years?
years.
34 years. What's your
34 years.
secret?
So, I stay away from other women.
Right.
I never even talk to them.
Is that true?
Yeah. I'll never.
You know that they wouldn't be interested in you anyway, right?
I started doing this when they might have been.
Oh, back in the
Yeah,
day.
yeah. I'm not saying they would have
Right.
been. I said they
Right.
might have been.
Right.
So I ascribe to that rabbinic,
Really?
stay
Build
away.
a fence.
And by the way, Jerry and I both agree with that, and nobody ever gets back to see us. We never meet with any. There's no women involved in.
See, that is fascinating. I noticed that when I was at a gig that he was performing at, and not only is there no meet and greet, but Elvis has left the building within a second
We leave
of
within
good night.
20 seconds.
20 seconds. And what does that do? It stops the groupies.
Stops everything. There may be some people waiting at the airport, and when we go through the gate, he'll sign or something. But pretty much. So the women thing, I get her flowers every Friday.
You do?
Every Friday, I buy flowers.
The
It's
thing
the
that
3 A's.
you don't know is that she's allergic to flowers.
The 3 A's. It's if any of the 3 A's are out of whack, it's appreciation, affection, and appreciation, affection,
Asphyxiation.
and asphyxiation. That's
hilarious.
the third one. Yeah.
But
There it is.
affection is something that I always kvetch about that I don't get enough back. Do you?
Of course.
So what is that about?
I wrote a joke about it today.
What?
I got to figure out where to put this in the act. I said, I love birds. He has a bird. I love birds. I used to have a bird, and he would sit on my shoulder and nibble on my ear. He would do the things my wife used to do when we were first married. So, good joke.
That's
I
funny.
wrote it today.
That's so funny.
So, and I just try to show respect.
Wait, but there's so much more to that.
There is.
Right.
I didn't
There's
have time
so
for that
much
to see you.
more to that. And then you have to do the thing about, and then it gets weird when they poop on you.
Right.
Yeah,
on the
that's-
shoulder.
I mean, you
His wife
have
used to
Whole
do
different type of affection.
No, you have to do that.
Yeah.
And other things about how they sometimes wake you up in the morning with their voice.
I also believe in never throwing the D word out. Divorce.
Uh-huh.
Never threaten.
Don't bring it part of the conversation.
I'm leaving. I've had it with you.
Right.
I never. Frank Sinatra taught me this, not personally, but I heard him say, once you leave the house, getting back is much more difficult because you may have taken the love with you.
Wow.
That's what he said. You may have taken all the love out with you, and it's hard to get it back in.
By the way, great advice from one of the worst husbands in
Right,
the
I was
history
just thinking.
of marriage.
I think he would take all the love to Jilly's.
Yeah. Hey, Larry King, you have any marriage advice?
I've been married 11 times.
Yeah.
I know women So yeah,
It's fascinating.
and I
but
work on it. I take courses. I listen to tapes on it.
You do?
I do. I have taken courses.
What
I
kind
listen.
of tapes?
There was a rabbi in Israel that had like 28 hours of marriage shears, talks.
Wow. That's a lot of hours.
By the way, I was at Comedy and Magic. I saw your buddy Paul Reiser also.
Long time. By the way, all my friends
Mhm.
got married and stayed married. The guys that I started with,
Wow.
Riser,
Larry Miller?
Yeah, he's married 35 years. Riser's married 38 something. Jerry's married 24, 25 years now.
Wow.
No divorces, no fooling around. I mean, that I
That's
know of it.
amazing.
Yeah.
But I just saw Jerry on a podcast talk about how comedians aren't good with marriage because it's such a lone act. You're so alone in life and on stage. You don't want a partner at all, not in your work, in your home. And he goes, that's why most comedians are either never get married or they get married and then get divorced.
He knew it was the right thing to do to have a family.
Well, he did it smart because he did it late. You either do it really late or really early, like I did.
He had a joke about that. He says
What?
to the audience, I got married at 45 because I had issues. I was enjoying those issues very much.
Oh, God.
But, yeah, it's a great joke.
That's funny. He doesn't do that. He doesn't do dirty. He doesn't do sex. It's unbelievable.
No.
It's so weird because sex is such a big part of life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what else is there? I have that bit that I did on James Corden show, and I because everything in my head is like from
You do wife sex stuff.
yeah,
I
but
know
from
you
the
do.
prism of like being Jewish. So I said Jews are just like everybody else. We all have the three basic human needs: sex, money, and food. We just want them in a different order, right? Like for the rest of the world, number one is sex.
Sex.
Yeah, for us, and then I literally point the mic to the audience. I go, number one for Jews, and they all yell money because, of course, they
Wow.
just go right to the stereotype. And I go, how dare you? As a joke, but I go, you're wrong. It's food. Food is number one. You ask any Jew if they would rather have a hot brisket sandwich or the cash value of a hot brisket sandwich, they would take the cash and buy a hot brisket sandwich at a cheaper place and keep the profits.
There you go.
And then I go, how food is number one, then money, and then sex. Sex is last. If you see a Jewish guy, staring like, ooh, I got to get me some of that. He's standing over a deli counter, because we're obsessed with cold cuts and all that. But my point is that to me, that bit is so, about life, because life is sex, money, and food. That is life. And I want to dispel stereotypes by saying you're so wrong. You think we love money. I go, we don't love money. We need money to buy food. And for me, if you take out sex out of your act, and again, there's so many guys who don't, Cosby never talked about sex.
No.
Yeah.
He lived a very clean life.
Very clean life.
Very straight-laced guy.
Yeah. But so if you take that out, it's almost to me like, well, what else is there? And then there are nights that I'm standing on stage and you're looking at the crowd, like at the Laugh Factory, and you're going, they really want to hear about sex.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
They're on dates and
They-
By the way, you taught me, probably gave me the best advice of anybody.
No, this is crazy. I
This is
can't wait to hear
absolutely
this.
true, and I've quoted.
This is worth
this is-
the podcast
and you
already.
may not even
we
remember
could
this.
delete everything from this point.
You can.
I'm surprised by this. 'cause
Before.
before
You
you came in, he said
saved
Elon
my
gives
marriage.
the worst advice.
You saved my marriage if I was ever going to step out.
Okay.
If I was going to do this,
Wow.
and I think of what you told me,
This is crazy.
this is what you said. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You said, imagine you can have the best sex of your entire life. You're married, but you met somebody and you can have the best sex of your entire life. But remember this, it's only going to last for about 7 minutes. That's
Right.
exactly what you said.
Wow.
And you said, is it worth getting rid of everything for
Wow.
that 7 minutes?
That's amazing.
Do you remember saying something like that?
Yes, because then I wrote a bit about it called Life or Dick Situations, when you have to make a choice between your dick and ruining your life. So I gave you that advice.
And it's not that I was going to cheat,
Right.
but I've thought about that and I've told other
Yeah.
people this.
Yeah.
I said, Elon Gold once told me, if this was the best 7 minutes of your life,
Is that
which it
worth-
could be, is it worth throwing everything away for that?
And so many men
Have you-
do.
So
Have
thank
you ever
you.
talked
You're
to,
welcome.
to
Seriously.
But isn't it weird that so many men do?
Absolutely.
They
not.
throw out, like, what is more important than family, than your kids, right? So when you do that, and I used to, it very, very similar to drugs. I used to frown upon drugs the way I did upon men who cheat on their wives.
Right.
Because I wasn't old and mature enough to realize why they do drugs or why they cheat. And so many people in their relationships are unhappy and there's no sex, and people need sex, like I said, like they need food. So now, if you cheat, I don't judge you, just like now I don't judge people who do drugs. I understand.
He started doing drugs now. That's
Right.
not a good-
What's the judge? We're judging him.
I
I saw
understand
you judging him.
why people do things. But what I don't get is, if you are in a decent marriage,
Yeah.
why you would throw out, and it's more about the kids than the wife. Because to me, I think about my kids who would resent me for the rest of their lives and treat me differently and disrespect me in a way that's just, I don't think I could deal with that.
So here's what Jerry and I talk about this
Yeah.
too. Imagine, and we've come up with this scenario. So you've now are divorced
Mm-hmm.
because you cheated,
Mm-hmm.
and you cheated, and you do whatever. The marriage is over. Now what you do is you go to your house that you used to live in. You don't live there anymore. And a guy comes to the door who is now living in your house, and he brings your children and says, okay, go with your father, and I'll see you later. And he hugs them and kisses them, and then you're off for the day. That's your picture if you cheat.
Not worth the splooge.
And then when you return the kids, he thanks you and closes the door on you,
Yeah.
and you're gone.
And then he goes and stoops your wife.
For 7 minutes, which is she's screaming and yelling, and the line was never like this.
It's very weird. It's
You
just,
know anything about sex?
yeah.
As long as we're talking, and I've never gotten better at it.
Right.
I hit my peak,
Yeah.
and then I don't like it, my stand up. I'm still growing and
Absolutely.
writing. My
Probably
writing,
should listen to
my
28
my
hours of
muscles
a
are getting
rabbi.